you to Thunder Valley, where this big and now fully enclosed stadium plays host not to football, but to the NASCAR Busch Series. Welcome back to Bristol, where David Green and Jason Keller, Chevy and Ford, will share the front row today. Tony Raines and Scott Riggs, row 2. Jamie McMurray and Kevin Grubb will line up in the 3rd row. Casey Kane, Todd Bodine, last week's winner, row 4. And completing the top 10, Jimmy Spencer with Brian Vickers, who is one of 3 drivers who will drop to the back with backup cars. The others are Shane Meal. And Chad Blunt wrecked his primary car, brought out the backup car, crashed that. NASCAR said, well, now your primary car is your backup car. Fix the primary car, but since it's now the backup to the backup car, you know where I'm going with this? Going to the back.
He has to go to the back. Going to the back. Yeah, they actually took both cars and kind of pieced them together and came up with their back to their primary cars, the nucleus of what they're going to start with.
Yeah, if you take a primary car and a backup car and you put them together, what do you just end up with a back of the pack car?
I don't know, but we're going to see it, whatever it is.
It looks good. I mean, they've done a good job of repairing it.
You know, also Mike Herman Stadler had a good qualifying effort, the 54 car, and Jason Schuler. They'll have to drop to the rear of the pack for changing engines. And it's so frustrating here. You know, you've got 43 cars, and maybe it's not bad now, but after the first caution, and it's a single file restart, when the leader takes the green flag, the guy in 43rd at the rear of the field, he's in the middle of the backstretch. He's already a half a lap down.
What's bad right now is, Larry, is these cars on the outside coming down to take the green. There hadn't been anybody on the outside. We haven't seen you side by side running around this track since we got here yesterday. So for the first time, you're going to bail off into turn 1 in no man's land.
One thing that did happen is track officials got out the jet dryers and blew the track of debris in those upper grooves from the practice section.
Yeah, there won't be any loose stuff, but it's still slick out there, and I wouldn't want to be stuck up on the outside.
DW, reach up there, please, and pull those belts tight, please.
Today,
half mile.
Today is a classic. Boogity, 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 boys, let's go racing.
Well, Scott Riggs in that 10 car did not get a very good start at all.
Now, there's 2 veterans, I guarantee you, that work together. The 57 and the 37, David Green, Jason Keller, Jason said, please let me get down in front of you. I'll let you pass me back.
And I believe that's what Scott Riggs did. He lagged back to where he could get to that inside quickly.
That's what you try to do on the start. You do not want to get hung on the outside.
Of the cars that started in the back, Shane Meals passed 12 cars already, flying through the field, which quickly goes single file through the top 15.
I mean, right now, Jason Keller, he just completed lap 2. The tail end of the field, they're already on the same straightaway as our leaders.
Brian Weber, one of the field fillers, has stopped entering turn number 1. I think he was trying to get that car to the garage area, missed the opening.
Caution is out.
3rd lap.
Weber's car apparently locked up the right front, and that's one reason why it wouldn't turn to the garage. And he sits parked and awaiting aid. First caution of the day at lap 3.
Of course, we won't see anybody hit pit road. These guys only have 2 sets of tires they can use under caution, 250 laps. I believe I'm only going to use 1 set because I want track position. Brian Vickers in that 5 car, he's actually 3 laps down up there trying to get a lap back, but it's going to be awfully hard.
Well, he's got tires, and he's got a fast car, had bad luck in practice. Actually, the best thing for him was to restart up there near the front, have a chance to get a lap or 2 back.
Tony Raines battling pole sitter David Green in the 37, and here comes McMurray in the 1. Matt.
Mike McMurray runs in 5th. He was complaining to his team under that caution. There just really wasn't much grip out there. He felt like within the 2nd or 3rd lap in Winston Cup happy hour, the track came in. He hopes now if they run a few more laps under Green, it will. That's exactly what happened to pole sitter David Green. At the start, he started to go up through the gears. He spun the tires through every gear until he hit high. That's why he dropped back and let Jason Keller take the lead.
Kevin Grubb has hit the wall in the back straightaway and can't get down to pit road because of oncoming traffic.
Yeah, and here comes Vickers. Now, he's racing the 57 car really hard to get a lap back, but he's not going to slow down, let him get it, doesn't look like.
We're going to stay green, dude.
Oh, he stayed green.
Trouble back straightaway now. Kerry Earnhardt.
Goodness gracious.
Smith in the 22, and they're crashing over here in turn 2. That's Mike Harmon in the 44.
And the 19 involved, Chad Blunt, Harmon's car.
Well, the call I was making is appropriate then, because the 5 is getting his lap back.
Yes, he will get one of his 3 laps back. So now he'll be 2 down, but Darrell, he'll be able to pull up there again to the inside.
Small T, capital T, trouble.
I tell you what, Mike, you take that into the track. I'll take this into the track there. You take the middle.
And we still might not be
I don't think we're going to get them all anyway.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Chad Blunt and that 19 group, remember they crashed in practice. Right as practice opened yesterday, we saw that in the pre-race show, crashed again qualifying. I'm sure they're glad they didn't unload a 3rd car, that they just took 2 and pieced it together.
And who gets who here? Well, it's Kerry Earnhardt goes around along with Regan Smith.
Well, I think that it's so confusing to the guys now, the spotters. Think about it. Car in the wall, caution, caution. No, wait a minute, no caution. So you got some guys slowing down, some guys speeding up. They end up running over each other down here.
And Chad Blunt gets hit by Mike Harmon after being spun because of the accident ahead of them on the back straightaway.
Well, DW, they pulled the 26 car behind the wall. Apparently, some damage to the right front suspension on Little Grubb's car. The car, I guess, from what they're saying in the radio, the toe is extremely towed out. They're going to try to fix that, among other things. Dick Berggren?
Well, Kerry Earnhardt is also behind the wall, and the big problem here is the radiator, which looks like Old Faithful and not a radiator. Big hole in the front of it. Earnhardt has damaged both front and rear, but the radiator is the biggest problem his crew will have to deal with.
At least 8 cars involved. There's Coy Gibbs getting service. 4 of them ended up spinning after Grubb hit the wall, and then almost a lap later, they started piling up on the back straightaway. So we're under the 3rd caution of the day, early. The leading Tony Raines, pole sitter David Green, Jamie McMurray, and Todd Bodine.
Boy, Scott Riggs got such a runoff turn 4. His car just flew through the middle of the corner. Looks like his car's working better on the bottom. Jason's going to lose 2 spots here, as well as to Tony Raines in the 33, all the way kicked back to 3rd.
Got a good place to fall in there behind Tony Raines, though. That's a good thing. Well, otherwise, he gets freight train.
Riggs wanted to lead a lap. His teammate let him by. Surrendered 2nd place in the process.
Guy's having a lot of trouble back in here with the 60 car. He's having all kind of trouble. I don't know if it's got a flat tire or what it is.
Steve?
Yeah, DW, he thinks he has a flat tire. Stan Fairfield, he has a tire going down on the 60.
But you just want to make sure it's a flat tire, and not the fact that when you went under caution that you didn't pick up debris on your tires and making it feel like a flat tire. That's what they're doing right now, making sure that it is flat.
Yeah, because he got up, pushed up out of the groove, and there's all kind of debris up there, rubber, sand, dirt, rocks, everything else, sheet metal.
Tough day for Coy Gibbs. He is back in the pits after being involved in the latest incident. 250 laps today, 500 tomorrow. Oh, Jimmy Spencer just moved Ron Young up the racetrack.
Trouble. Got Shane Hill going around, got into
Morgan Shepherd.
Turn 4.
Come on.
Racetrack was just about blocked for a second. Brian Vickers trying to get on the apron to try to make his other lap, or one of his other 2 laps up, but he won't be able to do it this time.
Everybody gets away, but 61-year-old Morgan Shepherd, whose front end is severely narrowed up from contact with Shane Meal. I was saying Jimmy Spencer just did a sweet job of moving Ron Young up the racetrack just prior to the caution coming out. Okay, you're in my way.
And I'm in a
Get
hurry.
out of my way. Thank you very much.
Plus, he's a lap car.
Right.
That didn't give him an excuse to run into him, but he is a lap car. And it's
almost looked like the same thing again. Chain reaction, Darrell. It looked like the 48 car checked up. Morgan did not check up, got into the back of 48. I'm sure we'll see it again. Maybe a little better view, but it looked like they started stacking up down in 3 and 4.
Single file at the front, and they were all but 3 wide behind the race leaders.
And Chase Montgomery, the 27 car, he had a bottleneck big time back here in 3 and 4.
Spencer right there, Todd Bodine.
Well, Shane Meal got, he's back out there. He got his car repaired a little bit, but I don't think he's got enough to hold off a charging Jimmy Spencer.
And he is a lap down.
1 lap down.
Meal is.
Yeah, we have 25 cars on the lead lap here at lap 49, 5th of the way.
And 8 cars off the racetrack. 7 of them due to crash damage. And here's Dick Berggren.
They call this place Thunder Valley. Not only is it fast, it is loud. This is the loudest of all the Winston Cup tracks because these mile-high grandstands keep the sound within. Scott Riggs, your leader, has just asked his crew chief, Doug Randolph, to repeat everything he says twice. Riggs having a hard time hearing his crew chief.
I mean, it is. You'll leave here and your ears, even if you wear a radio headset, they will ring for a week after you leave this place.
This place will give you a headache more ways than one.
Riggs the leader. How about Tony Raines, who's doing double duty this weekend? He'll run the Cup race as well tomorrow. Matt?
Currently running in the second position. That matches his best career Busch Series finish. He's center to that caution that the track is very slick. The car, though, is still tight from the center of the corner off. So DW, he's doing what you did many times. He is searching for a different line to try to help that race car around the track and not abuse those tires and not kill himself on the stopwatch with a tight race car.
Yeah, what you can do if the car's a little tight and you have the luxury, if you can drive in low, right on the bottom, going in, and let the car drift up in the center of the turn, and then do what I call diamond the corner. Let it slide up in the middle, and then come shooting down to the inside off the corner. That's how you drive a tight race car here. You can't get up on that outside groove just yet. There's still not enough rubber, but it is getting better.
Joe Buford trying to keep from losing another lap there. He lost a couple on pit road, got sideways in front of leader Scott Riggs. And they brought him to pit road. They're going to bring him to pit road under the black flag for spouting some fluid. Watch the orange car, top of your screen.
Oh, yeah, you can see some smoke, and I'm sure that's fluid coming out from under the car. Got him loose. Feel like he didn't spin out.
And he'll be on pit road this lap. 57 laps complete. Teammates Jason Keller and Scott Riggs, between them, have led them all.
I tell you, Tony Raines in that 33 car, he's not giving up. Michael Waltrip goes by Kevin Harvick. That's a battle for 6th. Michael Waltrip in the 99 car. We're looking out the back of his car right now.
Spin, turn 4,
And
Ron Young.
He was down on the apron like he was going to come to pit road or something, and it's very slick down there. Caution is out.
And a wreck in turn 2.
And that's Mike Bliss in the 20. Johnny Sauter in the 43.
The 43 and the 75 had crashed. That's Jay Sauter. And Mike Bliss could not get away from them.
And that's probably the reason that Ron Young was down on the apron. You see his left rear tire there is completely off the rim. He was trying to get to pit road.
And then you have cars wrecking in 1 and 2 after the fact. We're going to get Inspector Clouseau on this.
Johnny Sauter up into the wall, comes to a rest. There's the 75 that spun to try to miss him, and there goes Mike Bliss.
75 is Jay Sauter, Johnny's brother.
Oh. Green flag.
It's easy to make that distance up because a caution lap here, it's almost like 3 cautions equal 1 green lap as far as fuel consumption. Ryan Vickers in that 5 car, he came to pit road. He's back up there trying to make another one of those laps back up.
Jason Keller let him go, let him into line, being very patient.
I think he's willing to use up his tires or whatever he's got to do just to get himself back in the race. He's not thinking about anything. You race differently once you get behind. Let me get back in the race, then we'll figure out what to do.
Well, work on your rhythm. You pull away from him. Nice and smooth.
Darrell, so far, cautions have bred cautions.
That's the history of this place, you know. No place to hide. You got slow cars, fast cars. They run over each other. Guys get angry. They lose their temper right away. As hot as those cars are, the Salt Carry Earnhardt, that's kind of like some of the drivers' attitudes about this place.
You know, guys, this is a 250-lap race. We documented you can run about 160 to 170 laps on fuel and tires, which normally never happens here. But I just have to believe, once again, talking about Kevin Harvick, listening to Butch Hilton, that these guys, they wanted to get into that window, get those 4 tires, have enough fuel, go to the end, and get out front. And Dick Berggren, what is some of these other guys thinking?
Well, Larry, like you, this morning I wandered around the pit area and talked to a lot of crew chiefs about what was going on. And crew chief after crew chief told me that they really wanted to take as few pit stops as possible. Many said they were going to try to do this race on just 1 stop. Now, NASCAR has given them just 2 sets of brand new tires to put on under caution. A lot of crew chiefs say, what is it? Track position, so important. Steve Burns.
Well, Dick, Jimmy Spencer in that 6 car won a race just like that in August on 1 stop. He says the car is real good. When they do stop, they'll adjust air pressure in the right rear tire. On that last caution, Tommy Baldwin, the crew chief, said, why don't we pit? Jimmy Spencer said, let's stay out. It's usually the other way around.
I mean, track position is so important. The only thing that new tires do for you is just give you a little more grip and give you that maneuverability. But if you have fresh tires, you're in the middle of the pack, you use them up anyhow, just trying to get to the front, not to mention use your race car up.
They do one more thing, Larry. They make you real happy.
I mean, right now, we ran about 10 or 11 laps since that last restart. It looks like a conveyor belt of cars. They're a solid stream around this racetrack.
Now about a quarter lap behind the leaders. Todd Bodine battling Casey Kane, 8th place. Last week's winner, and still, surprisingly, no sponsorship on that car. Such a great run and win last Monday at Darlington Raceway. And the leaders once again in traffic.
I mean, they're trying to go by them on the low side. They're trying to go by them on the high side. It's so hard to pick and choose where you go by this lap traffic. You can't get out of the way.
Well, you want to try to pass the guy where it hurts you the least, because you don't want to open the door, let get past or anything else. So there's a lot going on when you run up on a slow car.
This isn't the way.
43 is definitely ticked off at the 16.
Well, the 43, Johnny Sauter, he's still on the lead lap, and he knows the leader's coming. And that's Larry Gunzelman in the 16 car, which he's actually still on the lead lap as well.
And that piece of metal blew harmlessly away. But Gunzelman, instead of getting out of the way, brake job Sauter after Sauter hit him.
I don't think he was very happy with that passing tactic. You don't mind you going around me, but you don't have to go through me.
Right. Joe Buford's taking his car to the garage. He becomes the 9th driver there. Now this will be for 9th place. Scott Wimmer trying to find some advantage on Casey Kane.
And remember, Scott Wimmer has a lot fresher tires. He was on pit road back on lap 45, so he has fairly fresh tires. He got into Casey Kane, the 38 car. Caution is going to be out, I think.
Break.
Well, Kane is stopped.
You got to go now.
Kane is stopped on the back straightaway, but he's way out of the groove. They're going to stay green, no yellow.
He tried to
back up on the bottom.
He stayed there as long as he could, and once the leader went by, then he knew he had to go. But he was trying to make the caution come out, and they didn't go for it.
In basketball, this is called drawing the offense to foul, or at least trying to. Not the contact and the spin, but afterward.
You see from an aerial view.
He was lucky to keep it off the fence back there, because the track is banked and it goes right down to that inside wall, and that wasn't a light.
Oh, we got trouble. Jamie McMurray in the 1 car. Chase Montgomery in the 27. We are under caution now.
I've just been really surprised how Chase Montgomery is having a terrible time here. He just hadn't been able to get his car going at all.
Lap 87, 6th caution of the day.
And that's the only downside to coming on the pit road when a lot of the leaders don't, is you're back there in the back of the pack, and it got Jamie McMurray in trouble right here because he'd been running in the top 5 or 6 before he pitted.
But it's going to help the 21 car, because the 21 car needed to close up that gap, and he did.
How does this start?
I think the 27 car was in the way. He's been in the way quite a bit. He's tried to stay high. He's tried to stay low, looking for a place so people could go by him, and I think McMurray just closed too fast.
But you're right, Darrell. I think it's a payoff for Kevin Harvick, because I anticipate that Scott Riggs, Tony Raines, Jason Keller, those guys will be on the pit road for their 4 tires now.
Yeah, what you don't want to do is paint yourself in a corner. You don't want to end up hitting so late that even though you got fresh tires, you can't work your way back to the front. That's what I like about the Harvick strategy. I think that's going to pay off for Busch and those guys again.
Because right now he's showing in 13th position, and here they come. Here come the leaders to pit road for 4 tires. Dick Bergman, they're coming your way.
Yeah, they sure are. Scott Riggs is going to come in to take 4 tires on his car. No adjustments on that automobile. The car is a little bit tight, but they've decided they're going to stick with that. No cars pitted behind him. No cars pitting in front of him. Jay Sauter's a lap down. So Riggs, the leader, is going to have a great opportunity to click off a terrific pit stop.
Part of the science of picking the right pit. As you said, there's Jason Keller.
Now that's at that end of pit road there in that last pit.
Steve.
Casey Keller says his car is just a little bit tight in the center. They make a wedge adjustment. 1 round out of the left rear. Back to Dick Berggren.
Rich Bergdorf is going to change the front tires. Josh Gibson's on the back tires. Matt Cox, Jack Van, Jim Potter is on the gas. A good pit stop so far. Jeannie.
Well, trouble maybe for the 99 car, Michael Waltrip. They think he might have broken a shock. The thought was to just come in for fuel, but they're investigating. Matt?
4-tire change for Tony Raines. He says the car was good, but it was just a tick free on entry to the corner. They're going to adjust the car with air pressure. The ton of cars beat him off pit road.
Hood still up on Michael Waltrip.
The Dream Machine, that's a bad dream for the Dream Machine.
Now, the strategy I'm not sure about is David Green in the 37 car. We talked about painting yourself in that box, Darrell. He's still out on the racetrack and has not pitted.
Not a good thing.
Stanton Barrett in the 60 car, he's in the 4th position on the racetrack, but he's a lap down as well.
Yeah, he had that tire problem early.
Hermie Sadler, biggest mover of the race, waiting on him to make his stop. He is in 4th place, number 54.
And remember, the reason he had to go to the rear of the field was they had an engine change, but he has a mirror full and a car full of Jimmy Spencer in that 6 car.
Made a wise decision. Squeeze up, slide up a little.
Whoa, whoa, Spencer just about gets into Stanton Barrett. It upset him. He had to back out of the throttle in 1 and 2. And Brian Vickers in the 5, he has some problems. He's getting drop kicked big time.
And Ashton Lewis to the apron with a flat tire.
Yeah, he's coming to pit road. I tell you, you poke somebody in hit them right in the wheel and knock your valve stem off. That's how these tires get cut down.
Dick Berggren, how's Regan Smith?
Well, let's ask him. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just got down in the corner there, got rooted out of the way. Typical Bristol. Couldn't quite catch it in time. So had a little deal at the beginning that really everyone checked up. I don't know if someone got loose or something, but almost had it cleared, and then I got hit from behind too. So it's tough. We're looking for a spot for this team and trying to do good in the rookie deal. So we'll be back next week.
Matt Yoakum.
8th caution of the day. Michael Waltrip is the victim.
Casey Kane trying to get his lap back. He's going to get it back right there in the 38 car.
Caution lap 109. Michael was trying to thread the needle between slower cars, and the hole just closed up on him.
It just, you know, when you have a broken shock or you get behind and you got to get to the back and you know you got a fast car, I tell you, you'd be better off just to bring it into pits, because all you're going to do is end up trying to get to the front and get yourself in trouble.
He's under Ron Young, alongside Kerry Earnhardt, trying to get through John Hayden, the 85.
Yeah, what he was trying to do was he was trying to get past Kerry so he could go up around the outside of Hayden, and they didn't check up enough.
And in the meanwhile, Jason White actually got in the back of Michael Waltrip, and that's what made him actually spin out.
Michael was faster than both guys. He tried to get by Kerry. He wants to go in between them right here, but there's just not enough room.
Here's where he had to check up completely, and there you see the white car, the 70 car, Jason White.
I'll buy 2 cars off that corner, but I won't buy 3.
Now, Jason White comes along. You'll see it as he gets in the back of Michael. You'll feel it from behind. Now, Darrell, here at Bristol, when you get in the back of somebody, why don't you lift? Watch the white 70 car. He's going to hit Michael, and he's going to keep on digging here.
Well, because Michael's going to wreck, and if you don't keep pushing him, he'll back right up into you. So you just push him on out of the way. The damage is done. The foul has been made. If you're going to the big red truck, you might as well go in there flaming.
Todd Bodine of our lead lap cars in the 92 here at lap 111, he comes to pit road. This would definitely be his final stop, because remember, we heard them talk, Dick and Matt and Steve, earlier, only 2 sets of tires under caution, and there actually looks like they're going to just change the left side tires, Matt Yoakum.
Well, Larry Mack, they were discussing under the previous caution. You saw they made a chassis adjustment as the 1 car, McMurray, pulls in for service as well. A rubber change on the 92. They were discussing that in the last caution. Todd was just way too loose on entry in the center of the corner. They felt like they've got a lot of time left. Fix it now. Hopefully they can gain that track position back.
Casey Kane has just come in and taken 4 tires. That'll be his final pit stop of the day. Kane, one of the youngsters, having a good day today.
I count about 6 cars without any crash damage.
I bet it won't be that many by the end of this thing.
We still got
not one of them.
40 laps to go.
Now, I want to go back and talk about Todd Bodine, what Matt Yoakum was talking about. What they did, he said he's been real loose. They put a spring rubber in that left rear. It stiffens that left rear spring rate, holds some bite in that race car on acceleration, keeps it from being loose as he comes off the corner.
Let's go to the garage. Jeannie.
Well, Michael, you got a little bit behind with the problem with the shock. You went out towards the back of the field. What happened?
I was trying to get around the 85 and the 12, and both of them were a lot down, so you'd think you'd catch a break, but I just got tangled up with them. Should have, in hindsight, should have took it easier, I guess, but, you know, you're supposed to get out of the way.
All right, they're about to go green.
8 cautions for 44 laps so far. That's 68 laps of green.
And David Green is still out there in the lead. He has not been to pit road, and I think a lot of the reason is because of all those caution laps. But he has his hands full of Scott Wimmer, that 23 car, much fresher tires than David Green.
He can't put up much of a fight, Larry, not against somebody that's got a 50, 75 laps better tires than he does.
There comes Kevin Harvick in the 21 as well, and Jimmy Spencer in the 6 trying to take advantage of it too. Now we're seeing of paying the price on the older tires.
Now he'll try to find a place to fall in line, and the next caution he'll be to pit road.
And it's not a place to fall in line. He's just going to continue to lose positions.
Well, the theory in pitting late is that after you pit, there'd be less cars to work your way through than if you pitted early. I'm not buying it.
No, I don't either. Not here.
Well, with all the lap cars, Mike, if you restart a race in 10th, it's like restarting a race in 20th with all the inside lap cars.
Plus, when you get pushed up out of the groove like he is, you don't have enough grip to really maneuver your car around. You're a passenger right now.
And we've not had long enough runs of green flag racing to get a lot of cars a lap down. We still have 19 on the lead lap.
What you're doing here is when you're in the shape that he's in, is you keep saying, please somebody remember I'm a nice guy. Give me a break.
Smiley. Oh, turn 1, 3 cars. Gunselman, Yunt, and the 77, and that's Brad Teague.
Caution is out. And I'd say David Green is going, thank you.
Yeah.
Chad Blunt.
I've never seen a team in this many wrecks in one weekend.
And still running.
They took 2 cars and made that one, and they've wrecked twice today already. And this young man right here can drive this kind of racetrack. I've seen him race at Salem, Indiana. I've seen him race at Winchester, in Indiana, and he's always been good there in an ARCA car. But boy, he's had his terrible weekend here.
And he was a victim. There was no place for him to go as a 16 car and the 77 car got together going off into one.
And you know what? When he leaves here, they're going to say, how do you like Bristol? He said, I don't ever want to race there again.
Well, Gunselman and Teague were battling on the lead lap. They were fighting for 18th position. Blunt was quicker on newer tires, but
the reason I'm giggling, David Green had committed to pit road all the way on the front stretch. He said, I'm definitely going to
get me out of here. Yeah. Well, Chad Blunt will go to the garage for the 2nd time today, and he may be back.
I wouldn't count him out. They got some used parts over there. They might put a strap on that thing.
Looks like Todd Bodine in the 92 as well as Stacy Compton in the 59's on pit road as well.
11 cars behind the wall as David Green makes his pit stop.
Now, the 92 and the 59 both have been to pit road once already, so do you think they're going to use their last set of tires?
I definitely will. I mean, I think they have to, Darrell, because I don't think you want, once you get past halfway here, I'm just not sure you want to come to pit road. As you say, too little, too late.
Yeah. This is Stacy Compton. Matt.
Crew Chief Jason Ratcliffe going to work on the right front. David came on the radio and said, Jason, what do you want to do about these tires? And we're coming to get 4. No adjustments on David Green's car. He entered pit road in the 7th position. Has a 1 in a 130 Busch Series start. Last win as they pull the tear-off off. Service complete.
Larry Gunselman, Coy Gibbs also on pit road along with Compton and Bodine.
Wimmer looks pretty racy right now, Larry. The car looks good and handling well. He's getting back in the throttle quick. Putting a little distance between he and Harvick.
This has got to make Bill Davis and Scott Wimmer feel good. Booty Barker leaving this race team at the end of last year, going to the Winston Cup team of Dave Blaney. Chris Rice now the crew chief got a Larry Gunselman in the 16 turn 3. And he was still on the lead lap. Now Shane Milne, the 48's trying to make that lap back. And he will make it up. Brian Vickers trying hard, Jamie McMurray, but they will not accomplish it. Maybe Vickers will. Maybe.
What if he had somewhere to go?
Yeah, he just couldn't get there.
Couldn't quite get there.
The track was about blocked. But Shane Mill will make his lap up.
Larry Gunzelman had been having a good run. He was a lead lap car. He did get in the back of Brad Teague earlier to bring out the race's 9th caution. He'd made a couple of pit stops under this caution, came back out, and now has hit the fence hard in turn 3. He'll be the 3rd car in your picture.
There's Ron Young in the 71, Chase Montgomery in the 27. There you see Gunzelman in the 16 car. This is coming off turn 2, Darrell. They'll go down the backstretch.
Oh, didn't clear him.
Yeah.
That's a shame. Like you say, Mike, he's still on the lead lap. He has had terrible luck this year. Still on the lead lap, well past the halfway point, but his day's pretty much done now as he hits the wall hard. Radiator's busted, water running across the racetrack.
Wants the lead.
And Jimmy Spencer wants 2nd place. He's not going to let Wimmer back in there as they side by side down the backstretch.
No, and you got to go. When that guy gets up out of the groove like that, then the door opens. You got to go through.
And there's a bunch of cars coming, Darrell. There you see Brian Vickers a lap down in the 5 car, and Hornaday in the 2. Wimmer's going to continue to lose positions unless he can get back in line. He slides back in line off turn 2.
Yeah, you saw Spencer try that outside. There's just not enough grip up there to get on the outside of somebody and make it stick. So you got to root them up out of the bottom, and once they open the bottom up, stand on it.
6th straight Bristol race that Kevin Harvick has led.
And remember, this is the race team led by Butch Hilton that won this race a year ago with Jeff Green driving his car. And even though Todd Bodine's leading the Busch points, this team, Jeff, is leading that owner points. They want to win that owner's championship with 2 different drivers.
Yes, they do. And as we've talked about it before, they're in an excellent position to do that. And one other thing, Larry, you guys have been talking about, Kevin Harvick and Butch Hilton, I think, have finally got enough caution laps to take the fuel problem out of their equation today and to be able to turn this driver loose and let him run as hard as he wants to the end of this race.
Yeah, the thing about it, Darrell, Jeff, Mike, you know, less than 100 laps to go, even though there's 17 cars on the lead lap, they have made their bed now. I think they have to lay in it. You cannot come back to pit road.
And, you know, Larry, the interesting thing to me, as much as Childress seems to be struggling with his Winston Cup operation, his Busch teams seem to be that much better than everybody else in the Busch series. You got Hornaday there running in 4th place, and you got the other car leading the race.
Good point. Harvick has scored 2 of his 6 Busch Series wins here. Last year, he DNF'd in both races.
And he was actually driving that 2 car that Ron Hornaday's in, and I'm going to tell you what a run he had in those races.
Hit your marks, drive away.
And you know, our pole sitter, David Green, remember, he was one of the last leaders to come to pit road. He has worked his way back up to 10th. He's about 3.5 seconds behind leader Kevin Harvick. But, Darrell, that's going to be a tough run to make.
Well, I don't know. I feel pretty good about it, Larry. And what I really like about him right now, he's got that. He's driving like a champion. Look, there's nobody in front of him, and it's a long way to somebody behind him. If anything happens, he's got plenty of time to react.
He can run his line and hit his marks right now. And now, Darrell, we're to that point you talked about, I think, this earlier. There's 10 or 12 cars out of the race. Now we have about the right amount of race cars on this racetrack.
I just never have been a big fan of 43 cars here. I just think that's a few too many. And it seems like we have to eliminate some before we can really get down to some serious racing. And that's unfortunate, but that's the way it seems to go.
Well, we've eliminated a bunch today, more than 15 cars off track or out of this race.
If you go back to 10, 15 years ago, we started 36 cars here. And we had long, long green flag runs because we could get spread out a little bit.
Everybody be smooth, still 2 plus.
Ron Hornaday 4th place, 2 seconds off the lead, but leading a big pack of cars here that includes teammates Keller and Riggs.
As a matter of fact, I think Hornaday is holding that crowd up just a teeny bit. And 57 car's been all over him. Matter of fact, he's taking a look to the inside right there. I think Hornaday's car is just not quite as good as he'd like for it to be right now.
And just remember, Ron Hornaday actually won 2 Craftsman Truck Series races here. Almost led every lap, I think, of one of those races.
Oh, yeah, this is his kind of racetrack. I mean, you know, he grew up on those little bull rings out in Southern California, Sargus, and I don't know, what were some of those others?
Mesa Marin,
yeah,
where the trucks are.
Very similar.
This week.
There you see tomorrow on Fox, we're running 250 laps today, twice that many laps tomorrow, over 160,000 people around a half-mile racetrack.
David Green underneath Casey Kane. Takes the spot away. 9th place.
And you know, now is the first time in quite some time that a driver can really kind of focus on what his car needs. He has a little time here to talk to his crew chief, bring him up to speed on what's been going on. You don't have a lot of time here. I always tell my guys, hey, you know, I'm not doing a radio show out here, so whatever you want to know, you got to make it quick.
Yeah, because these straightaways, they are only about 650 feet long.
They're about 3 seconds long is about how long they are. I know when you're racing here and you've been running at about 250 laps, your old neck tells you that the straightaways aren't very long.
Rear suspension cam on Scott Wimmer.
There you can see he has a spring rubber in that rear spring right there. Remember, stiffens that spring rate, and what that is, that orange thing, that's a handle that if they need to on a pit stop, you can yank that rubber out. But you can just see the suspension never quits moving here. And
that's a little chain back there that, so when they jack the car up to make the pit stop, the rear end housing will only come down so far so they can get the tire off of it much quicker. Whoa, 57 had a look under the 2, couldn't make it stick. Going to lose a couple of spots.
Yeah, his teammate Scott Riggs in the 10 and Tony Raines in the 33, they're going to take advantage of that bobble.
And that's what happens. You know, you got to cut the guy a little bit of slack, but you pay the price for it.
173 laps complete. Is there a problem on Jimmy Spencer's 2nd place car, Steve?
Mike, it sounds like it. We were just listening to Jimmy on the radio, and he said, I feel like like something's going to break. Tommy Baldwin, the rest of the crew, jumping up on pit wall. They're ready for him if he needs to come.
And that would be a shame because he's been up there in the top 5 all day long.
And I think something happened. I don't know if the 2 got up out of the groove or he has a problem.
No, Darrell, what happened was Scott Riggs. After Hornaday moved Jason Keller, Scott Riggs came up, got in the back bumper of Hornaday, shoved him up the racetrack
I got you.
So that he and Keller could get back by Hornaday. Casual contact. Here's a look.
Going down in the first turn here. And yeah, there he goes. One of the, the 10, is that the 10?
Scott Riggs,
yeah.
the 10.
10 car got into him.
He's going to lose about 3 positions in the process.
But Hornaday has been holding that crowd up.
Right. So Kevin Harvick leads with about 75 laps to go here in Bristol. Scott Riggs and Scott Wimmer collide.
Started off at turn 2. The 27 car's up in the way again. That's about the 3rd time. And they try to split him, and when they get down there to the 3rd turn, they hang into each other.
And problem to Dick Berggren, the problem is the fact the car that caused that was 35 laps down.
Well, yeah, Wimmer is in right now. His crew chief has told him go behind the wall. The sideboard is out for the 10, Scott Riggs. What a shame. They were running in 2nd and 3rd spot, both with very strong cars. Now both badly bent up.
Let's show you what happened.
Starts over here off at turn 2. This 27 car here, who is, I don't know, 30-some laps down. He's been in the way quite a bit. And when they get to the corner, because one's low, one's high, and they just collide right there. It's unfortunate. 2 guys up there racing, putting on a good show. And
but here, does it look like they're both fighting for the bottom of the racetrack?
Well,
they get
I don't think, you know, Wimmer's going by on the outside. I don't know if he knows that the Riggs is coming up the inside hard like he was or not. And when he gets to the corner, he's got to turn in, and Riggs was there. I think Wimmer's focusing right now on the 27. He says, okay, I'm by him. And then here comes, see, he doesn't know that the 10 come from he didn't know he come down underneath the 27. Man, that was a hard lick too, Larry, right up on top of that wall.
Yes, it was.
Two fast cars fighting for the same acre of racetrack. On board Scott Wimmer.
He's coming off the turn 2. He goes by on the outside. He feels really good. He turns down. Whoops, somebody was there.
I tell you, this was a big break for Jimmy Spencer, who was about to come to pit road under green. Steve Burns, he was able to do it under caution.
Yeah, he was, Larry Mack, but they've got a problem. They think it's either a broken axle or a broken hub. Spencer has already been on pit road once. They changed right side tires. They're looking at the right front wheel. He'll have to come back down on pit road. Let's go to Jeannie.
Waste not, want not. Bobby Hamilton Jr.'s last stop, he didn't want 4 brand new tires. You go ahead, you save the stickers. You find me 4 tires that actually had some laps on them and put those on, guys.
I tell you, another car that took advantage of that right there is Ron Hornaday, who was starting to go backwards. He came to pit road along with Stacy Compton, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Johnny Sauter, and Shane Mill. All lead lap cars come to pit road here with about 62 laps to go.
Yeah, I think that's a real good break for a Hornaday because he really had his hands full. He was starting to bottle people up, and I think that's going to help him a lot.
Let's get the fender cut off. Let's see if we can get this water stopped.
Chase Montgomery and his crew chief will be going to the NASCAR truck at the end of this race for consultation, and we'll be right back. 58 laps to go. They just restarted the Channel Lock 250. We've had 12 cautions for 74 laps, and now 4 cars break away.
I think it's about time we maybe mention the fact that Tony Raines has been sitting right there in second place for quite some time, and his cars look really good the whole race. He's not been out of the top 5, and he can go, baby.
Yeah, I mean, what happened? Qualified third through the cycle of pit stops. He worked his way back, but Matt Yoakum, as Darrell's saying, he's back up to second, racing for the lead.
And his crew chief, Mark Tudor, told him they feel like the 33 is a lot faster over the 21s. He said, just take it easy, do not abuse your stuff, and you will get him, to Steve Burns.
Well, that Jimmy Spencer pitted. He said he had a bad vibration. Actually, a part of the wheel broke. I haven't seen this in a long time. This is the part that came off, and that was left of that wheel.
If you're going to break a part like that, you'll break it here. That's how much side load you put on these cars in these 36-degree banks, especially with Jimmy Spencer driving, because he pours it down into the corner.
But it don't look like they have everything corrected. You see him right there. He's coming to pit road again.
Yeah, he may have damaged something else with that wheel being broken.
Scott Riggs is also back in. Dick Berggren.
Well, I watched that whole thing with Chris Rice, who is Scott Wimmer's crew chief, Mike, and he just all by himself showed up at Scott Riggs' pit, and we're going to crash the racetrack.
Gus Wasson has spun.
I don't think there's going to be a caution, though. He's spun around. Nobody got in it. He's all by himself, cranking up, and away he goes.
Stay green.
He was doing a pretty good job running in 26th position, just 3 laps down, and he was spun, was turned around by another car. Let's go back to Dick Berggren.
Well, at any rate, Chris Rice showed up in Scott Riggs' pit all by himself. There's about 15 guys in Riggs' pit, so that probably wasn't the brightest move. And he began to have some very articulated conversation with Doug Randolph. NASCAR officials grabbed him, walked him away, calmed him down, and took him right into the big red truck, and that's where Rice is right now.
And that's one of those invitations you can send no regrets.
Yes, they'll be doing a little explaining to him about the whole situation.
10 laps to go.
And Ashton Lewis in the 46 car, he's 2 or 3 laps down. You saw him move to the high side, let those guys go by, let them race.
And that's Mike Wallace just ahead of him there.
And Hornaday just piled into Casey Kane.
And both of them are in trouble. In fact, Casey Kane comes away much better than Ron Hornaday. Caution is out.
The right front of Casey Kane's car
I think both
is
of them are
missing.
Pretty well crashed.
A few pieces.
Yeah, he is a lot of damage on that 38 car. You're right, Mike.
Now, this is one thing I don't like. If I'm in the 33 car right now, my car's a little free, you let me cool my tires down, I'm better than you are through the center of the corner, woe be unto you.
Now, did Casey Kane lose his forward bite, or did Hornaday run into him? What happened here?
Well, Hornaday's on, pretty fresh tires. He's the last fast car to pit. He got loose. Oh, yeah. See, what happened was he got loose. 38 got loose. Ron was coming, couldn't get out behind him quick enough. That's just a product of catching a guy and there's nowhere to go.
Harvick gonna bring him down pretty slow.
Got a really good start. David Green looked to the inside of Keller, but he couldn't quite make it happen. I think if we can get a lap or two under our belt here, Harvick will probably be all right, but here comes that 33 car right in the center of the turn. That's where he's going to make his best move.
But Harvick is good off the corner.
Really good off, and that's really good, comfortable car.
If he can get to Harvick again, he might be able to do something with him.
He can't do it. Kevin is he's in easy and off hard. That's what you want.
Yeah, he lets that car roll before he picks that throttle up. He knows when he nails it, he can stay in that throttle. 3 laps to go.
Run it in there easy. The car will take a natural set, and then you can just gas it. If you drive it in too hard, it'll get to sliding up the hill. That's what you don't want.
Here comes Rains, though. It comes right, gets just within half a car length and no closer.
I think Harvick is doing that. I think he's just trying to keep, a little distance between he and Rains. He doesn't want to just drive in the corner any harder than he has to.
He's starting to pull away just a little bit. Rains gets a little pressure from Jason Keller. A lap and a half to go, Mike.
Keller and Green right there to pick up some valuable points. Third and fourth. 1 to go.
Pretty much clean racetrack for Kevin Harvick.
And Rains is actually backing up to Keller.
I think everybody's saying, I'm glad this one's over with. Let me just come on home right where I am. David Green's done a good job of getting back to fourth.
Checkered flag for Kevin Harvick.
But I tell you, that is a good run for Tony Raines, the 33 car. Jason Keller third, David Green fourth, Mike Bliss fifth.
I can't believe that 48 car ended up seventh.
Good run for Shane Mill.
They did a great job of repairing that thing after that crash and getting him going.
Kevin Harvick gets his 9th NASCAR Busch Series win, his 5th short track victory, and his 3rd Bristol win in 7 starts here.
And Kevin Harvick just climbing out of the race car, Chris. His 3rd victory here at the Bristol Motor Speedway in the Busch Series. There's Gatorade, beer, water, any kind of beverage you want in midair. Hey, Kevin, tell us the key to victory here at this race. The 33 was behind you. Tell us how you won it.
Man, I tell you what, these payday guys Butch Hilton made a great call in the pits. And we worked a lot on long runs yesterday. And we thought we had a pretty good race car, but there were so many cautions there at the beginning, we couldn't get up to and pass everybody. But we got by Wimmer, and how about Tony Raines? He's going to win some races, not only in Busch Series, but in the Winston Cup. He's an awesome driver, just hadn't had the opportunity, and they got their stuff together. So awesome day for this payday bunch.
We have a long way to go. I talked to Butch Hilton, that crew chief on that 21 car. They are possessed to try to win the Owners' Championship with 2 different drivers, Kevin Harvick and Johnny Sauter, and they are on the mark to do that.
Those are all the cars that were running at the finish. How about Ron Hornaday stayed on the lead lap after that crash with Casey Kane, who also was still running, and 2 more mini laps down, and everybody else was out of this race before the checkered flag flew.
Yeah, a lot of good runs there. Bliss 5th and Bobby Jr. 6th. 48 comes back to 7th. A lot of good runs there.